Now let me start over. There was no sound. So as you see right there on in the picture, the what the gingerbread box is supposed to look like. I'm gonna try to see if I can duplicate that and see if we can nail it, or did we just fuck it up? Okay, this is brought to you by some stoners inspired by that show. Nailed it or failed it. So definitely check them out online. All right. So this is how it comes in a box. It actually comes like pre-made like this, which is really, really nice. And we're going to capitalize on that right now. All right. So first things first, let's get some frosting so we can start doing some decorating, and I'm going to do some cutting.
Which one are we doing? Did you pick? Did you show what we're doing?
Yeah, we're going to do the one that they're seeing right there in the front. We're going to see if we can nail this thing, or did we just straight up fuck it up? How many people are here? April and Consuelo, my two mains, huh? What? Oh, 5 viewers. Okay. Don't be shy. Be sure to communicate. We're going to do this together, though.
Right. So this is the frosting ready to go.
So
you want to snap.
This is the frosting thing.
You had to warm it up. So
that's what they said. Yeah, we have to warm it up.
So they say.
We have to do a little foreplay with it, okay? Okay, so we're going to trim this down a little bit, making it more accessible. She's like, this was not in the instructions.
He's not going with the instructions. We'll see. He can pull off miracles, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so now we're going to take this.
Cut it too early. But you take the tape off.
Okay, cut it a little high, but that's okay. You were probably high when you cut it, so that works. Love y'all. Thank you, Consuelo. Love you too. Wait, what up? He's here with us. All right. So we're going to kind of double bag this so we don't have to work at trying to get this stuff over here. All right. So looking at the picture. Move the candy. Okay. That's what they get to see. Can we get one more line in here? All right. So first things first, we can't do this without doing some rudimentary stuff here. So let's get a door here. Okay. This is kind of hard to do this and let you guys see it at the same time.
There you go. You gotta do it that way. Oh. We got 30 minutes. I'm thinking like.
Oh no! There's no time on this. There is no time. She's trying to say 30 minutes. I get 30 minutes.
I was asking. I wasn't sure if we were doing like.
Whoa! She was trying to give me less than 30 minutes to do this thing. Okay, so it's kind of. Oh, wow. It's kind of looking semi like a door.
There you go.
Okay. So on that door, it has some shit on there. It has these 2 strips of candy canes. So I'm going to need those things right here. All right, so we got that. And we need to make some windows. Yeah, my wife gave me a big cut on this to use. All right. Oh yeah, I'm nailing it.
That's the window.
I have nailed this window. Now see, my wife gave me this fucked up tip here. I didn't tell her to cut it that soon.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Keep going. Don't give up.
This.
You can still do something with it.
I have. This is Dabr nailing it. Oh, you guys. All right, here it is. Look at the windows, right? Totally nailing it. Yes, it looks like somebody spoded on it, but we're not done yet. So, okay. So I might as well start doing this stuff right here because this is what this piping is cut for. She has it cut for this big shit right here.
There you go. See, there's a purpose. We gotta do some piping. There's the pipes.
That's just snow dripping from the rooftop. That's what that is.
Look at the piping work. Look at that. Really hard to hurt, baby. Look at that.
Okay. It has fucking lines across it.
It does. Like, I have some piping work to do. April said, it looks like the white shit I had in my hand the other night when you kicked me. I laughed my ass off.
Hey.
That was so fucking hilarious. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know about that, April. That was too fucking funny.
I think.
Good for you. Yeah, you definitely have started for the show. You can do this pretty quick, yeah. You're creative. You're creative. You're going far, kid. You're going far with this.
But my tip sucks, so this is what my dots are looking like.
Dots. Big dots.
You're supposed to put dots on here. Let's see how this is turning out. Am I nailing this or am I like fucking?
I think you are.
You think I am?
I think the tip is fucked up. That was my fault. But
yeah,
you
but
pretty good. I mean, you got the dots, you got the lines. You just got to add the accessories, and I think that you'll be fine. I think that you are. I mean, the door is a little thick and heavy, but
that's how I like my women. That's how I like my women. A little thick and heavy. The door being a little thick and heavy.
So you're nailing it. April's like, yeah, I fell for that for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. It's all in the tip.
Jeez, you're not supposed to talk about that outside the bedroom, babe. That's all in the tip. This tip really sucking balls here. I'm totally.
I have
blaming
other
her.
tips, I think. Let's see if we can fucking salvage it.
There's no other tips.
I think we have some tips.
Oh, I'm done trying to save this bitch now. At this point, I'm just slapping it on any way I can.
Yeah, there's more over here. You could have pulled combine like rose petals. You could have fucking done some shit.
Okay.
What? You have to put that on the door.
Okay, here. Speaking of putting some stuff on there, why don't you put one dot on every other spot?
Okay.
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 And I'm supposed to do this frosting on the door thingy.
Okay.
We'll see if we nail it.
Every other?
Huh?
Supposed to be every other color.
Every other one. It can be random. It has to be random colors, not the same color every other dot. Random colors every other dot. So we're trying to see if we can nail this or if we just fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? For trademark reasons, we're not going to say the exact same things that they say. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Like that. Are those good?
She's put 3. We have a bag of like almost 50 of them, and she's put 3 on there, and she's already saying she doesn't have enough to finish it.
No, I'm saying that
Ah,
here
yeah,
that match
yeah,
up
yeah.
with the picture. No, I got plenty dot.
Okay,
Dot galore.
we'll put any dot there then. Come on, let's do
There.
it together. Okay.
Dots are up. Dots are going up. I'm saying they're just equivalents. I'm just saying. Ooh, good catch. Teamwork. Teamwork.
So you know the tip goes inside the bag, not on the outside.
Okay.
No, right?
Yeah.
It's already too
But
late.
you can MacGyver it.
Okay. All right. So we'll show you how it's coming along so far. I mean, it's not going to be the same color scheme, but it should be pretty close to the same of what they're trying to do there. Where's my candy canes? Let's get a candy cane out here. Okay, I'm decorating this. It's kind of like a dream catcher on the front of Hansel and Gretel's demising house where they have met their demise. Okay. Okay.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday. We're doing a little.
Clark Creations here.
We're trying to see if we can
Be successful.
with the duplicating of this.
Of the gingerbread house that we acquired. Yes. Why not? We got yellow. We got blue. Yeah. It's too close.
Okay, I think I'm going to be considered someone that failed it. We'll see. Is there a knife you can get me? No, I got this.
Just not like they need it sometimes, I don't think. Gotta count it out. Okay, so. Yeah, I did it backwards. I fucked it up.
Well, it's okay.
I did the colors backwards from this way instead of from the doorway. The colors are on, they're just Maybe they'll be right facing the camera. I'm gonna keep going.
She is going to keep going, she said.
Keep going. Keep going.
And none of these are really a fine tip. None of these are. That's okay. Just saying, none of these are a fine tip. My hand's in the way now.
What? I can't rewrite. I gotta get the other side too. Oh, you know what? So maybe, because this could be the side I can't see. I can still say it on the other side. Still might be able to nail it, baby.
All right, so
I need to get that one. Yeah, so Tip does suck, but he's making it work. He's keeping it going. Look at that. That's great.
So we just need to stick some of these balls up in the frosting here.
Good chew.
And he does.
Need the doctor.
Empty the bag some more so we can get a variety of colors. So now it's kind of extra color. Oh, colors, colors.
Good. Looks like there's another here, but
There you go. Now you have this side to do.
what?
I just have no mad love and respect. Well, okay.
Mm-hmm. I need the green. I need the green. I need the blue. Good morning, John. Happy Sunday to you and your lovely lady. Hope you guys are having a nice day. Oh, look at you. Okay, I can go back to my box. Yellow fellow. Yellow Mr. Fellow. Let's see, I gotta put my dots. It's blocking me. You're dot blocking me.
No, I'm into this motherfucker.
He's like, no laughing, no nothing.
I'm into this motherfucker.
Some funny shit. And he's like, serious face. I'm like, oh,
What? Right? There, I'm gonna roll up something now. Now let's see what you do with the rest of this.
Trying to make it proud.
See if I can come up with a new tip here.
See what you can do. Can't afford to lose any of these dots. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here of the colors. Look at them orange. It's orange.
All right, let's see if I can make me a good tip off of this bag.
Red. What the hell am I losing?
Okay.
Look at these colors up. Yeah, I'm losing sight of my lines here. I did it right. How did I lose it out? The blues. Greens.
See the difference a tip makes?
Oh yeah, that's way different. Red. Blue. We got the blue. We're out of blue, so we make do. No blue, we make do.
No blue, you make do. Nice. Now look at my windows on this side. Now that I decided to cut the tip a little differently. What?
Good job. Good job.
Oh, you're gonna eat that bitch when it's done, huh? That's just funny.
Yeah, I got all the blue.
She was thrown off.
Threw me off by the lots of blue balls. And you just need to, you don't have more blue, some shit over here. Gotta make it some shit. Freehand it, baby. Open. Right here. Okay, now I'm gumdrops. Gumdrops.
All right, you guys think we nailed it, or did we destroy it?
Pretty good. Or a screwed up tip. I think you nailed it.
Oh shit! I'm going pushing
You're
it,
going crazy.
pushing the stuff the wrong way.
Oh, look at you. You're ad-libbing. That's good. There's some shit over here that almost caught that.
Calm down. Wait. Wait. I said wait.
Wait for what?
Wait. How many of these do we have left?
One more. And tons of little ones over here.
One more?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the back end. Ooh. Can you make a concert?
No?
Oh, okay. I thought you might be able to.
Okay. Hold on. We're putting a little snow everywhere. We'll put a little snow everywhere. Now we're going to stick this snow, like I said, everywhere. Okay.
Nice. Oh.
Put this. I'm throwing these pebbles all over this, much like some shit that just happened. It doesn't work that good to throw it. I'm noticing.
Yeah, gotta sprinkle it.
You gotta
sprinkle it to razzle dazzle it.
stick it. You gotta kind of jam it into the frosting. You gotta jam it into the frosting. Here, let's turn this around here. We're gonna turn around and jam it into the frosting.
Good job.
So what do you guys think? Did we nail it or did we fizz?
Look at you. You did it in 29 minutes. Under 30 minutes. Balls everywhere.
Okay. There you go, guys. What do you think? Y'all's nailed it. Main Dabber saying you nailed it. April's like, you gotta smoke one and burn one and eat that bitch afterwards, right?
Awesome. You did a great job. The tip was fucked up, so that was my show. You did a good job with the back end. In 30 minutes. Oh.
Okay, so the window was off. And I could have put a couple more gummies there. But I think we even did a better yard than the yard they had. Like their yard kind of sucked a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Now I got frosting everywhere in this motherfucker. Yeah. See?
Good job.
Put this in the refrigerator. We'll take pictures along the side of the box. I'm ready to dig into it. Huh? Let it get a little harder. Man, that was some work right there. I am not going to lie. That was some work. My wife's like, are we going to nail it or are we going to just straight fuck it up? Thank you guys. You guys voted us in as nailing it. Only thing better is if this was cannabis.
That was great. That was fun. Glad to be fun to do it, like you said. Have two of them.
I'd go on there and break out the edibles. They'd be like, this thing, you failed it, but because you brought edibles, you nailed it. And we never once read the instructions. How it says, don't cut the tip too short.
Nope, I didn't read that. I only read that instruction. I was reading all the other instructions.
You always cut it too short to begin with, and then you can get bigger if you need to.
I was like, damn it. Get in the chair, all up in the chair.
There you go. You put roaches in them.
Nice. Can utilize it. It is being utilized.
Right, Maine? Dabr time now with some Vader extract from when I was at the Cannabis Cup. Hey, right, some infused frosting. Oh, I was doing it up over there.
Oh my God, I'm like, actually. So I want to clean it just in case. I'm not looking for it. This has been dealt with then. It's done.
All right, we need some mixed nugs here from the dispensary. They didn't have a lot of choices. The holidays beat them up.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Okay.
The holidays beat them up. All right, we're breaking some weed up right now, right now, right now. Well, that was interesting, fun stuff right there, huh?
That was a good time.
It was.
Yeah, it was a tip now. It was a tip. We did really good with the second set. So, good job. We're signing you up. You're going.
Right?
You're going.
Nailed it, or did we just fuck it up? And I think we did all right. I think we but then again, we were competing only against ourselves, okay? So that's kind of stacking the odds in our favor, I think.
Right. We have to fucking make this shit, the frostings and...
Yeah, we didn't have to start from scratch.
It's more of a time thing. We gotta make...
I mean, ours wasn't even
cake.
ours wasn't even a time thing. Like, we refused the
Right.
time clock.
Right, we refused it.
It's my wife. That's what she says. I say, can we mess around and just be fast about it? She goes, I refuse to be rushed.
Yeah, don't rush that.
So I say, 1, 2, 3, go. I close my eyes and I hear her in the kitchen cooking up. I'm like, what are you doing? She says, that's what the way to a man's heart is through his belly.
Gotta keep him fed.
I said, well, just because you know, welcome to the David Chappelle Show. There's a David Chappelle comedy on YouTube that we were watching. It's like he's in a bar in Britain, and this thing's like 3.5 hours long, and it's raw, up close. He's drunk. It's actually pretty fucking interesting.
Really funny. It's good. Let's go back and finish watching the other hour and a half that's left, I think.
He's talking about how close he was with his wife. Hell, he's so close his children think he's his brother.
We know how we said it, but that shit was funny.
Oh, but not the way I said it, is what you're saying? No.
No.
She just said my shit wasn't funny the way I just said it. Holy moly. Okay, now we're done. Now we're down to 3.
We're delivering.
My delivery, I need some work on my delivery.
That, on that one, that was all. That's nothing.
Just that one, that was
That
it?
one, that was it.
Okay,
Okay.
nothing
You're
big.
good?
So all my vibrating and humming, that stuff works okay?
Oh,
Totally
totally.
okay.
Like, great. You did a great job. You nailed down.
That's what I thought. I was like, I'm doing a fine job here. A fine job here.
Still too. Excuse me. I have to party real quick.
Is that what you that just farted?
Yes, that's what it was.
You fucking farted and then left the set? She just fucking dropped bombs and left the set. What the hell? Oh, now I understand. Whoa! I'm rolling up to catch up, right? That's funny. We got some distillate right here. Pretty looking stuff right there. Right? She crop dusted me and dipped out. That's right. That is funny. Why you want to crop dust me and jump out like a fucking like a dust bunny? We were getting ready to have lunch here. Thought we'd jump on and do that craft. I didn't expect that thing to go so quick. I had a pretty steady hand. They'd look at me and be like, "Oh, he's done some piping before.
Right, he's a professional.
He's done some professional piping before." My wife's like, "I've done professional crop dusting."
All of you guys are professionals as well. Undercovers.
You know-
Brothers and sisters.
You know who the Google of the streets is? Strippers. They know it all. Like on the streets, you want to know something, you'd be like, what they up to? Huh? What's P Diddy doing? You can get more from a stripper than you would ever get from motherfucking Google, right?
Google of the streets. God.
Right. The Google of the streets. My wife. Yep, I caught her stripping just before she jumped into the shower. What did you guys think?
What?
Oh, look at you. Coffee,
Yeah.
ham, toast, bacon,
Nice.
bread. We're coming over.
It's ready.
Yeah, we're coming over.
Just some pancakes. Yeah, that sounds good. Hash browns. Whoa. You need a personal dark.
Yes. That shit's like hardened up in there. Is what's up.
You gotta warm it up and finish.
Yeah.
thing is cool, but it's gotta be like, I think a certain part that catches. Catches. I love this thing. This thing is pretty cool.
Here's some dabs. Do some distillate on the side of my blissolate.
I consider we're not too far from Joe H. Okay, cool. Probably in the neighborhood. Neighbors.
So we can come over. We'll grab Joe and come over for breakfast. Brings Joe's kids. Bring everybody.
Party.
Little party.
Party at the Joe's. What?
I'm not bringing no weed though. I just want to see if we're still invited.
Okay. It's a test.
Yeah, if we say we don't have weed, then they're sure to say no, never mind.
Sorry, we're leaving for the day. Right after breakfast. We're taking it to go.
We got them laughing. See, they know what's up.
You know what's up. It's breakfast time. What time is it actually? Oh, it is till breakfast time.
It's like brunch time. It ain't no breakfast time.
Brunch. I'm still having some breakfast and pancakes.
Shit, I'm ready for lunch. Little fish and some sour cream. I'm all over it. I only want the fish.
Why if I can have that combo?
I only want the fish where the head's been smashed. Like, look, I just love making my wife make faces. I'm just kidding. I really don't like smashed fish heads. All right, brunch is between breakfast and lunch, right? Brunch does sound good, doesn't it? Oh, I just love getting this woman with my jokes.
Good. Good.
See, look at the latency. Watch, I put my hand up, down. Pretty quick, huh?
Not too bad. Not too shabby.
This latency is like, whoa, it's like lightning fast.
That was lightning fast.
Right? Like, what? You can't handle this truth.
What?
This truth is too much. It's lightning fast. We have a new viewer this morning. Good morning, new viewer.
Good morning. Happy Sunday.
The new viewer missed the gingerbread house. We put together. Everyone so far nailed it. Said we nailed it. If you guys are watching this video after it's not live anymore, please put in your comments down below if you thought we nailed it or we just destroyed it altogether. Either way, definitely hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you can always be here to give us your opinion. We sure love to hear from you guys.
Absolutely.
It does. It would be epic with all of us still in our jammies, right? With brunch. With the brunch, Jim was trying to sleep. April was like, hey, so did you get anybody with that prank? Wait, did you get anybody with that prank yet, April? Huh?
That was too much.
That was great.
That was so fucking funny. April was crying. That was great.
So you know what? Instead of saying like Polish or any of that stuff, when they're getting rid of the excess, ask them, have they ever masturbated in public? No, but I'm going to though. Yeah, ask if they ever masturbated in public, and they're like, no. Then you're like, Let me see your hand.
Great.
I think that's how it should be. Have you ever masturbated in public? If not, let me see your hand.
That was funny.
Oh, I should have done that to Joe.
Does he smoke cigarettes?
He doesn't have to smoke for me to bring the kid to fuck with him. He don't have to smoke.
Right?
Totally should have done that to Joe. Totally. I don't know what was I missing out on that for. He would have died laughing, especially after I had him all dabbed out.
Oh my gosh.
And then, like, if I took it off his hand and started throwing it on his chin.
He would be like, no. Yeah. People can't wait to get somebody with that.
And Rob's like, oh my God. She snorted. We got to hear her snort in the wild. It was funny.
Oh my God. That was great. That was a good laugh. That was pretty funny. Jim wasn't laughing, but we were all laughing. Sorry, Jim.
I don't think that gingerbread house is going to be fun to eat. I think it's going to be hard and crispy and hard.
I think so too.
Don't tell anyone, right? We won't tell anyone. I'm like, April, you have a cigarette butt? That's how you have to start it out with. Unless you already have one. Like if you already carry cigarettes. If you're a smoker, man, you got the kit with you at any time.
Oh my gosh. It's great.
And when you're done, you'll have a filterless cigarette to give to a homeless person. Here. I smoke filters.
They'll take it. Anybody can smoke cigarettes at this time. Cigarettes are expensive.
Right.
I'll take it. Filter or not, I think.
So, have you guys seen the worst Breaking Bad prank? Here, look at this. Check this out, all right?
My name is Josh, and for 24 hours I was an international meth dealer.
The first thing I remember is seeing his mugshot.
It didn't quite feel real, you know, but it was still something where I was like, I can't believe what he's gotten himself into.
This is my friend. He's a great guy, I think.
Neighbors tell 10TV they never noticed anything suspicious about this house, but police say it was a meth lab and stash house.
In everybody else's minds, I mean, this is as real as it could be. But none of it was true. It was all a prank.
Like, oh my God, this is crazy. I can't believe he did this. You know, I can't believe he did this to his mother.
When you start something like that, you don't realize what the fallout is going to be. They moved in with lawyers pretty quick.
I would have died. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's a serious case you got against yourself, man.
This prank got way bigger than I could have ever imagined. Infected way more people than it should have. My feelings were just very mixed on being proud and also I'm in trouble. Growing up, I was always huge into science and tinkering with things. I got a kid.
So April says, "What is this?" And my wife don't even know what this is. So what is this? This is a video of a guy that decided that he would prank his friends. Okay?
Okay.
So, but I'm going to let the story tell itself because it's better played out through the story. So here it is. Without further ado, here we go.
Chemistry set, Legos when I was smaller than that. I was always the smart one, the one that really liked math and science for the fun. And I was also always a good kid. I never got in that much trouble. Eventually, I did go to school for electrical engineering. I worked at a local utility as a control systems engineer for a while. Just wasn't really fitting me 100%, so I decided to up and leave. And my perspective was I'm taking a year off of everything and just live off of my savings for a bit, getting more into music and film, just see where life is going to take me next.
Josh is my first nephew. When Josh left the power company, our whole family pretty much wondered what was going on with him. Where'd he go? What's he doing now with his time? He's quitting there to work in a band, or to do video stuff? Okay. Maybe it's a phase, how people always go through phases in their life.
When I left my 9 to 5, people did wonder, well, what is he going to do next? How is he going to make ends meet as the years went on? People just assumed, maybe he's doing something else. Maybe he's selling drugs or something. And it kind of became a running joke.
We've been over Josh's house all the time, but I never really knew what he was doing for money. Me and Josh are both huge fans of Breaking Bad, and he was always making the jokes of maybe one day I'll become the new Heisenberg. He had a lot of that scientific background, and so it kind of made sense. And the basement was just somewhere we never go. It's kind of always blocked off. He'd still be making those jokes oh yeah, well that's where I've got all the chemicals stashed down there. Got everything cooking down in my basement. It fits so well.
A lot of my friends by this point had just constantly made this joke about me having a meth lab. The ultimate goal of this prank, contrary to where it did end up, it was more or less to satisfy an inside joke that had been going on for a number of years. It was never meant to be anything more than that. In order to pull off this prank, it needed to be as authentic as possible. So the initial incarnation of the prank was to post a fake news article of me getting busted for having a meth lab. I went and actually bought the domain wbns10news.com. The real one is 10tv.com. From there, I went to the actual 10TV website to gather the source code and all the images and assets from the actual website. And the idea is that it would look precisely identical, re-edited by me, that have my own little story in there and everything. I actually downloaded the introduction from the newscasters talking about drug busts here in Columbus. They would be referring to there's a big drug bust. And the idea is that that's when it transitioned into the shots of my house. Shots of the drugs. That was all put together from just random things I had laying around. I had a childhood chemistry set with little beakers and tubes. For the mugshot, I purposely didn't shave for a while. I don't think I showered for another few days, just to look as gross and grimy and everything as I could. A lot of news stories have a narration component to it, so I needed a voiceover. The person who did the voiceover actually didn't know what it was for. I just told them it was a funny inside joke thing, and they did the script, and I paid them.
Neighbors tell 10TV they never noticed anything suspicious about this house, but police say it was a meth lab and stash house.
In the news story, authorities found $13,000 of cash with 28 pounds of crystal meth worth $100,000, and that I was being held on a $3 million bond, and that I was the mastermind behind it all. All that needed to be done is that it needed to be shared. And I couldn't share it because obviously I'm in prison, quote unquote. So I needed to confine with a few friends to share that link. It was posted on social media. I put my phone on silent and just went to bed. Figured, well, I'll just wake up the next morning and see what the damage was.
With Alabaster Bibles, we knew that the story of God was beautiful, and we wanted to create a beautiful reading experience.
It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I get a frantic call from my sister, which is Josh's other aunt. She's like, Jen, you need to watch this. It's a newscast about Josh. So I'm looking at Facebook.
And it's a fake
I was
story.
just like, what the fuck? I saw his mugshot and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, that's my nephew. That's my nephew. I was watching it while I was on the phone with her. I was like, I can't believe he did this. I can't believe he did this to his mother. First I was mad, I was yelling, but then we started crying. All I could think is like, what do we do now? We get on a 3-way phone conversation with Josh's mom, woke her up 2 o'clock in the morning. We're like, well, your son's in prison. And she's like, what? And then everything went silent. We told her why. We told her that he's been charged with making meth and charged with one of the biggest drug rings in Ohio. She was devastated. Her voice was weak, tired. You can hear her crying. She was up that whole night.
I woke up and roll over and look at my phone, and it's just exploding. Just constant barrages of messages and phone calls. Saw upwards of about 100 missed calls and at least like 50 different messages. Most of them just wondering, did this happen? Are you okay? The very next thing I did is I hopped on Facebook real quick, and I see literally 1,000 notifications that I have. People tagging me. And that's when I realized everyone was sharing. It was just all over the newsfeed. At the moment, I thought, this may have gone too far.
So I woke up, immediately rolled over, checked my phone, and instantly the first thing I saw was a post about how my friend was in jail and had been secretly running this whole meth ring. There was his face in a mugshot, and he looked all disheveled, like he'd just been inhaling chemicals for 3 days on some big cook or something like that. Pictures of his house with police tape and images of the basement that we could never go down to. It was just stunning. It was something we had joked about so much, and he was just laying these breadcrumbs for us the entire time.
I think everything was fitting in its place. He quit the power company. He doesn't have a job, but he's making money. Where's he getting this money? I could see him in a suit in his basement with a big old chemistry set, thinking, yeah, he could probably pull this stuff off. I think he was living through that series of Breaking Bad.
Thinking about it throughout the day, the image of cops finding him and grabbing him, handcuffing him, throwing him in the cop car, and then him sitting at the end of the day, hopefully wallowing in his self-pity or something, in a jail cell in an orange jumpsuit.
I'm thinking, he's been in my home. I've been in his home. I haven't seen the whole house. Watching it, I was like, there's no way. All that time, we were joking about him being some kind of crazy meth kingpin, and he really is? Have I been this close to danger my whole life? I had no idea. The video about Josh had definitely spread really quickly amongst the friend circles on Facebook that night. However, by the next day, it had gone way outside of that.
There was a large variety of comments. People who said, I always knew he's a weird, strange guy, so, maybe he deserves this. Other people kind of defended it, saying you shouldn't immediately judge people by the news, and there's always more to the story. Maybe there's just desperate measures, and maybe times were tough, and so he just did what he knew how to do. And I was a complete fly on the wall. As far as everyone knew, they thought I was just gone forever. So I could see a lot of what people thought about me without the filters, both good and bad. The fake news article of me getting busted for meth was shared about a little over 20,000 times that day. At that point, I took a break, and I thought, okay, well, I need to call my mom. Like, if it's really like this viral, then she deserves to know. So I call my mom. She picks up pretty quickly, and I tell her, that you may have seen something on Facebook. And she gives me the that it's not true. It was a short conversation. Her tone said it all. She obviously didn't want to talk to me that long. I had that feeling as when you're a kid and you've done something wrong, you're grounded, basically. And it had been a long time since I had that feeling. I thought the prank was finished, but it was about 4 o'clock when I got the email from the senior vice president over at 10 TV wanting to have a chat with me. It's a short email. It's only a couple sentences long. He just says, I've seen the website and I want to have a conversation with you. Shortly after that, I did get a formal cease and desist order. More or less just said, you need to take down the website, take down the video. But then he requests that I transfer over the domain that the website was hosted at And knowing that there's a 60-day lock period to be able to transfer that domain to them, I knew there was no way I could give them that domain until that transfer right had expired. I said to him, I can't transfer the domain. There's a 60-day lock period. And then that's when the tone changes to rather threatening. One of his last emails was that you have two options. One, you can give them the domain, or two, that they would sue me for damages up to $150,000 if they didn't get their domain by 5 o'clock that day.
I'm sure that scared the crap out of him. That's a lot of money. He was seeking attorneys.
I would have died. I mean, that's unbelievable to have one of the biggest news stations in Central Ohio coming after you saying we're seeking $150,000. I mean, that's a serious case you got against yourself, man.
Wow.
The very first time that I decided to come clean with the prank, I did it earlier than I expected. I wanted to have the entire day to let this prank kind of run wild, but I was getting so many, different messages, and there was just so much activity. I thought, okay, well, maybe it's about time to come clean.
Around 5 or 6 is when he finally came out that, yeah, this was all a joke, guys.
Finally, I started to relax a little bit. I was like, this is not real. This is the most masterful prank I have ever seen.
That's the worst joke I've ever heard in my life. That's not even close to being funny. I mean, that is seriously the worst of the worst. That's not funny.
Now she's mad because she got caught in the fly trap. Okay? It was not meant for her.
I've been assuming that the paper's going to hit my door. After a few months, I eventually did get the domain. I think I figured by that point, if there was going to be a lawsuit, it would have happened by that point. So in a way, once that domain was taken away from me, I celebrated. Because for me, the prank was officially over 4 months later after it had done its thing. Even to this day, my family asks me, why did you do this? Don't you have something better to do with your life?
Like you guys were saying.
He's very, very smart, but he has no common sense. I was actually pissed for a while.
She was pissed for a while.
Talked about it and was able to mend things.
She was finally able to mend.
That's just because I found out it really wasn't for family to know about anyway.
And when it comes to pranks, it's one of those things where you can't predict precisely what's going to happen, how far it's going to reach. So just know that at some point you have to come clean. You have to face the consequences with it. At the end of the day, I still feel very proud about that prank, even if they're a little bit sore.
Oh, I
My
would
mom
too.
would smack me in the head right now.
I would have been proud about that shit too, man. That shit would have had me proud as a motherfucker. Like, oh, I nailed all of you motherfuckers. He certainly wasn't. But I mean, how long has his friends been saying, "Oh, what are you making money as a meth lab?" Like, they kind of like fed the thing, And then he started dropping breadcrumbs. Like, you know what? Oh, they think that. Oh, okay, so let me start. And and his art is video editing and graphics. He's moving from one art to another art, right? So he figured he would play with this art medium that he has. That's like legendary shit right there, right, man? Like, so I had to share that with you guys. I thought that was some fucking epic shit that I found on YouTube right there. I was like, oh, look at him. Fucking A. Sounds like some Dabr shit, that I would do. I wouldn't have bought the domain name because that would have cost me money, but I would have done everything else.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, and that domain name, that was something easy. The funny thing is, he got off easy, okay? Because they asked him to take everything down, and they wanted the domain name, okay? And the reason I said he got off easy is he used their exact content, and that was where they didn't even have to ask for the domain name. They could have just said he was in copyright infringement laws, and then they could have went after him for that and not even bothered with trying to get the domain name. Yeah, but the guy's not a techie, and he kind of went after the domain name, and this guy's willing to give it, but it was kind of locked because when you first buy it, there's like a hold period or whatever. I'd say nothing. Could see you sitting some of that shit, right? That shit was funny. That man pulled off an epic fucking prank right there. His friends fucking, I bet you now they're saying he's a meth lab guy even more, right? Like, remember that time you were cooking meth and got busted? He made the film footage up. He made the fake Channel 10 up. He fucking pranked them all.
That was good.
The Channel 10 was like looking for that news that aired. Like, when did that air? How did he pull? How did he pull this stuff off? And that fucking person narrating that had no idea. Come on, that dude, that chick knew. Come on, she knew. He's just giving immunity. I think he was just protecting her.
She knew.
She said all the words. She knew what was up.
Sure. It wasn't just a rolly TV.
And he had friends that shared it out. So, you know, he had like, you know, he planned that shit with some people. You know?
That was good. That was creative. Wow.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, speaking of creative, we're going to get something to eat. Mad love and respect to you guys. Thank you for chilling. And I will see you soon. Whoop, whoop.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Mad love, everyone.